Good morning, everyone. Today is Happy Halloween, October 31st. And today we will cover Granite Shares Yield Boost. It's time for the weekly update to see how they doing, what's going on, this, that, and the other thing. But before we get to it, of course, we'll do a quick Bitcoin update. And you'll see yesterday was a little rough, a little rough. We went down, all the way down to 106. And today we are at 110 so far. So we'll see how the day goes and we'll go from there. And let's pull up the YieldBoost website. Again, YieldBoost is a name underneath the parent of Granite Shares. It's just kind of a list of different funds. So if you go to the Granite Shares main website and you click ETFs, you'll see some options, right? So you can click leverage. Of course, they are famous for the NVDL leverage fund, which is a great fund, a little expensive, but good for options trading. And then they got some gold action here. They got some income, commodities, equity, and of course YieldBoost. Maybe one day we'll check out these others one day, but let me know if that's of interest to you, like to navigate into these others just to see what's going on there. So here's the YieldBoost ETFs. When you click that link, obviously you can see the list now. It's growing, of course. The newest ones, which we talked about last week, BBYY, which is Baba, and then FBYY, which is Meta. Meta had a rough day yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see how these funds performed, when you get tankity doodah, because Meta went down. So you could imagine what a double leverage Meta fund would do, on a down day. Their most popular funds are COYY and NVYY and TSYY. So if I click on COYY, real quick product overview, you can see these are designed to generate income through option strategy, primarily through, is this Zoom enough? Maybe not, I don't know. Selling put options. So basically they sell puts and they generate income and they pay you that income. Of course, they do have here, you'll see the last sentence, downside protection may be implemented, but it pretty much is implemented on almost every single trade. So every time they sell a put, they typically buy a put. But again, this says may be. Doesn't mean they have to do it all the time. All right. And then you'll see the distribution calendar on the website, a little chart. And then obviously the details are down here. So if you click view more, you can see performance details, blah, 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 fund details. This is where they have the holdings and all that information. Kind of says where they, the launch date, which COYY launched July 29th. And, you can see the fees, 1.07%. A lot of people complain about that, but that is standard in the high yield dividend space. And then, of course, there's investor documents. And someone made a comment the other day that they did update their prospectus. So if you look here, there's a prospectus supplement. There's a summary prospectus, and it's new. So I clicked on the summary one, and it is dated October 24th. I was quickly looking at it. I did not notice anything crazy. Again, I did not compare it to the last document, though. I wish they would have like, basically a short wording of the changes of the document in here somewhere. You know what I mean? Like an outline of why the amendment to the prospectus. But if I find out, I'll try to find out actually before next week's video. But yeah, just so you guys know, they did update the prospectus. If anyone knows that's here, because we are live, anyone here in the chat knows, please feel free to share. And then we could find that item and speak of it. But again, we're not going to go through this prospectus. But real quick, though, if you're trying to understand these funds and the way I speak of them is not helping you, check out the examples in their prospectus. It's really helpful. Because when I did cover their funds, I did outline the examples. I think what you should do is take the examples, write it down on a spreadsheet, and then just do, do it out yourself so you can fully understand what they're talking about. And then it'll just help you. Because again, if it's so important that, you know, you can't just, and I know like set it and forget it, right? You pay them to do the options, but you still have to understand what this fund does. Like if you don't understand what you're investing in, you're only doing a disservice to yourself, right? Because like with the fund, you know, if you see the fund is capped, you're like, oh my God, this fund sucks. Well, no, not really. This is how the fund works, right? Or if the fund tanks, like it's just better to know the ins and outs of the funds that you're investing in. So I would recommend, again, if you don't want to listen to schmucks on YouTube like me, then you can always go to the prospectus, you know, and just take your time, read it. It's your money, man. You work your ass off for this freaking money. So that's the least you can do. All right. Anyway, like I said, once I find out whatever that update was, I'll get back to you guys. All right. So here's the spreadsheet, handy dandy spreadsheet. I clicked update on both of these. You can see October 31st. Happy Halloween. All right. So we have the funds tab. So this is where I kind of list all the funds. You can see the inception date. And, you know, I do have house money. So I am tracking house money on these. So if you are interested, you can see right here the leader of the pack. Actually, I could sort it. Hold on. Data, where the hell are we? Where's the filter? Create a filter, and the filter, and you sort by Z to A, because Z would do the larger number. All right, anyway, so house money, every fund launched at $25. TSYY, you could see so far they paid out about $12.93, and that is about 52% of the original launch price. All right. So again, that's once they hit 100%, what that means is basically that means they paid out $25 in distributions from inception. All right. But one thing obviously to also note, the current price is at $7.79. Now, if you look right below, we have NVYY. Now check this out. NVYY, no, it did not pay the most, but it did pay $11. So it's right behind at 44% house money. 44. That's not bad. That's close to 52. But look at this. Look at the current price, right? The current price of NVYY is $24.28. The launch price was $25. You basically got paid $11 with no capital movement. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So NVYY, good job, bro. Good job. And then you got, again, going down the line, XBTY is up there, this, that, and the other thing. So you can see how, you know, it all depends on the underlying, of course. We know that. It depends on the underlying, depends on the timing of the trade, depends on the market, depends on this and that and that. But as long as you understand that, you got nothing to worry about. You know, MTYY, we know about MSTR funds, man. They've been taking a whooping, man. But MSTR, like, what's going on, bro? What's going on? But you can see here, it's already at 16. So, you know, surrounding it though, are much, look at this, 26 AMYY. Wow. Now it's above. You got capital appreciation in that one. Again, capital appreciation in high yield ETFs, typically unexpected, but it could happen, of course. Like I said, it depends on a lot of factors. All right. And then, of course, another thing I do here is, if it's helpful to you guys, I show the underlying, right? And then I show the 52-week low of the underlying, and then the 52-week high. And then I calculate how close are we from the low, right? So the closer we are from the low, you know, essentially you would think that the better discount, right? Now, like MSTX, you know, just as, wow, MSTX is at the low. Look at this, 52-week low, 1242. Oh my goodness. Wow. See what I mean, man? It's been rough, man. But at the same time, you could say, well, it's time to buy some MSTR or MSTR ETFs like MTYY. But anyway, they're at their low. So some, you know, you can consider that a discount or not. I don't know. This is just a simple way to look at things. Number wise, of course, we're not charting around here. We're not chart people, but we need to learn charts. And don't worry, when I do, I'll be doing chart videos. SMYY, so SMCX is at 17% away from the low. And then these others are pretty close to midway, so I wouldn't consider them deep discounts. But again, that's just a stat I have here. Along with the IV, like who has the highest IV of all the underlyings? And the winner is right now SMCX, followed by MSTX. And then, of course, Robin, man. Robin Hood. All right, but a lot of them, almost all of them, are over 100% out. You know, the indexes, of course, are not. Facebook's not. You know, this, that, but Facebook probably was over earnings. All right, that's enough of that jargon. Hopefully, you know, that little bit helped. You guys got to let me know though. Again, since it's a weekly series now, feedback is welcome. What you guys want to see? If you guys invest in YieldBoost, what are you interested in? You know, leave me some feedback in the comments, or again, you are live. I can see the comments, so feel free to share there. All right, let's look at the daily compare, where we compare the underlying movement to the ETF movement. So again, this goes back to last Friday, all the way up to yesterday, which was Thursday. All right. Now we have the change from last Friday. NVDL, big jump day, big up day, up 4%. NVYY captured 2. Again, to remind you guys, they sell premium. They sell premium via put. They don't own the underlying. All right. They make premium via put. That's the maximum profit, right? So if that premium does, you know, if they collect 100% of that premium, that's how much the ETF will move, whatever they made premium per share. Conversely, they do buy downside protection. So if your underlying goes tankity-doo-dah, the ETF will not go as bad tankity-doo-dah, right? Again, we're using big words here. All right, you can see, again, 2 big up days, and they were only able to capture 2 and then 1%. And then again, another massive up day. I believe this is over earnings, like a 10% day and then a 6% day. You know, if you look, they only went up 1% and then 0.2%. Tough to take. But then you got a day like this where they dropped 4%. And here you go. There's the protection. They only went down 0.29. So you got to take the good with the bad. The good thing is here too, the distro, very consistent payment, 44 cents. All right. If I'm moving too slow, let me know. But I'm taking a sip of coffee break. All right. Yeah, lots of doodah for sure. Let's see. CONL versus COO. What the heck? Wow. Oh my God. CONL went up 19% last Friday. Good Lord. Like that's a dangerous freaking leverage play. Holy crap. But I can't believe this. COYY was able to capture 7%. How the hell did they do that? Again, it's still a big gap, but still, I mean, that's impressive. And then CONL, of course, wasn't done. They went up another almost 4%, and COYY captured 0.77. But then here we go. Look, check this out. Down days. Again, I think this is why people love these funds, because the protection. They don't want to go down with the underlying. They don't want to go down as much as the underlying. So here's 3 days in a row. CONL, down 3, down 3, down 11. What'd they go down? Down 0.6, down 0.7, and down 2. So obviously protection is working. So it's good to see the breakdown between the days, so you can see the good and the bad. All right. Distribution wise, they paid 38. They actually raised their distribution 2 cents. So I know a lot of people complain, oh, these dividends only go down. Well, that's not always the case. Again, you have to look at each fund individually. You can't just bulk everything together. All right, let's look at TSLL. How you doing? No, how you doing? All right, last Friday, they went down 6.7. TSYY only went down 1.6. But then we have a big up day. I believe this was the Monday. They went up 8.4, and we were only able to capture 1.8. Now, here's the last 3 days, up 3.6, only up 0.6. Up 0.32, we actually beat it. We went up 0.39. Now, check this out. Again, down 9%. That's a little rough. That's yesterday. Yesterday was brutal, man. It was brutal. The whole market was basically red outside of a few funds. But TSYY didn't feel it. They only went down 0.38. Again, so if you own TSYY yesterday, you're like, You're like, what dip, right? What dip? What happened? You know? So essentially it's a wash between the last 2 days. You're like, nothing happened to me. All right. Anyway, if we look at their distros, that's in line. So they paid 20 cents and then they paid 20 cents again. So that's good. Consistency is key. Again, we are comparing this over the short period to get an idea. Because again, every fund needs appreciation. Every fund needs an understanding. Sometimes breaking it down like this does help. All right, let's look at BitX versus XBitty. I love saying XBitty. That's like my favorite fund to say. So I could just talk XBitty, XBitty. I should make a whole video on XBitty. That way I could say XBitty over and over. But BitX on last Friday, they went up 0.58%. And BitX actually went down 0.01. So again, unusual day there. BitX went up 7. Then Monday, BitX captured 2. And then they had 3 down days. Again, cryptos, it's been a little rough lately. They went down 2, they went down 6, they went down 7. All right. XBitty said, bring it, brah. Don't sing it. Bring it. All right. So again, they went up 0.06 on a down 2.2 day. Keep that in mind. On a down 6 day, they only went down 1. And on a down 7 day, oh, this is their biggest hit. They went down 4. All right. So keep that in mind. Again, they could have, it depends on the positions that they had. Did they open new positions, have old positions, things like that. Distribution wise, they paid 30 cents the week prior. They just announced this week they're paying 30 cents. So again, in line. We like consistency because if you're living off of this income, you want consistent income. Of course, a lot of the high yielders, it's a little tough to live off the full income. So you should protect yourself in either through reinvesting or just have, be making enough money that you're making like 4 times over, that way you can reinvest in maybe either the same fund or whatever. All right, let's look at this TQQQ versus TQQY. This is not as fun to say because it's hard. TQQQ. All right. Anyway, on Friday they went up 3%, and then TQQY went up 0.38. The Monday went up 5.3. We captured 1.2. Another 2 more up days. Up 2, up 1. They only went up 0.26, 0.05. Big down day again. Yesterday was a red day, so down 4.5. We went up again. That's very actually impressive. We went up 0.16%. Distribution wise, they paid 18 cents last week, and then this week they announced 18 cents. So consistency is key. All right, moving on to SPXL versus YSPY. Again, I'm assuming, let me just double check the holdings actually, because no, I don't think their prospectus says UPRO. I need to ask if someone from Granite Shares is listening. I want an answer on why choose SPXL over UPRO. I assume is SPXL more liquid. I don't know. I thought UPRO was more liquid. I don't know. I think it's a question for that. I'm still curious. I want to get an answer. I keep forgetting to ask them. Anyway, SPXL went up 2.4% last Friday, and YSPY went up 0.3. Monday up 3.5. YSPY up 1. Up 0.74. Up 0.3. Up 0.15. Down 0.15. That's weird. But then yesterday, again, red day, down 3.26. I mean, the S&P, this is a triple leveraged S&P fund. So the S&P, after that disaster yesterday, only went down 1%. That's pretty impressive. That's why people love the S&P, right? But yeah, man. If we look at so they went down 3. We only went down again. If you had YSPY yesterday, you're like, what happened? I didn't feel nothing. But yeah, they only went down not even 0.1%. Distribution wise, we had a raise. So last week they paid 0.18%. Oh my God, 18 cents. And then this week they paid 19 cents. So congratulations on your raise. Hopefully it pays for inflation. All right, now we got AMZZ versus AZYY. Again, Amazon. Can't hurt Amazon, right? That's like investing in a freaking index. Amazon went up 2.6 2 days in a row. So what did we do? We went up 0.35, and then we went up 1.67. But then let's look at the last 3 days. They went up 1.88, up 0.75, and down 6. All right, so the 1.88 day, we went up 0.59. The 0.75% day, we went up 0.59. Again, same Weird. Exactly the same. But this, again, yesterday, rough day. Even Amazon took a beating. Double leverage went down 6.2. We went down 1.5. So AZYY felt it a little more than some of these others. Distribution wise, though, they're in line. Again, I haven't really seen a drop, right, in the distribution. If it was there, it's not much. But consistency, 22 cents, 22 cents. Not bad. Not bad. Good to see. Good week. Even though it was a pretty rough week, it was still a decent week. But yeah, let's keep going. AMDL versus AMYY or AMY. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, something happened on last Friday. They went up 15%. We only went up 1.92. So yeah, again, you have to prepare for days like this. Maybe own, the underlying, and then that way you don't feel as bad. You're like, oh, I got it on the underlying too, right? But again, at the same time, it is, it sucks, but it is. Understand their maximum potential on the upside, but of course, appreciate the protection on the downside. So yeah, up 15, up 5. They only went up 1.9 and then 1.09. But check this out. Down 1, up 4, down 7. Okay. So on the down 1, they went up 0.43. On the up 4, they went up 0.92. And the down 7, they stayed even. So yesterday, if you owned Amy, you're like, remember red? No red for you. No red for you. All right. Anyway, distribution wise, they paid 48 cents 2 times, baby, last week and this week. So consistency. All right. MSTX, man, they've been taking a beating. So get ready for this one. Let's see how we doing. Last Friday, they went up 2.78. They almost captured MTYY or MITI are mighty. They captured 2.67. That's not bad. But the Monday, that's a little brutal. They went up 4.68. We captured 0.11. But look at this, brah. This is rough. You ready for this? Y'all ready for this? All right. Anyway, MSTX, they went down 7, down 6, down 15. Okay, that's a little rough. That's tough to take. Again, down 7, down 6, down 15. If you own MSTX or MSTU, you're probably like, well, this sucks. MITI, on the other hand, they went down 2, down 2, down 3. I mean, that's not fantastic either, but again, amazing. Like down 15, only down 3. That's a lifesaver right there. So when you buy protective puts, it is a huge help. It eats on the income. Of course, your income is going to be less, but you know what? It's just so worth it on days like that. All right. It's so worth it. But anyway, let's look at the distribution. They paid 33. They paid 33. So they are consistent with the distro. I'm not expecting 33 next week, but I guess we'll stay tuned for that. Chico. All right. Here's their Palantir fund, PTIR versus PLYY. Last Friday, they went up, 4.44. We captured 1.88. And then Monday went up 4.9. They captured 0.37. So that kind of hurt. And then here, up 0.38. They actually beat it. They actually almost doubled it. They went up 0.74. But here's a big update again, 9.7% increase. We captured 1.22. But yesterday, again, was a big down day. The PTIR went down 4.3. Ply or PLYY or whatever the heck we're calling this one, it actually went up on the big down day. If you own PLYY, you went up in share price. Did you notice that? Like, were you like, oh my God, hell yeah? All right, they went up 0.36. Distribution wise, you got a raise, so that's good. So hopefully you can go out, buy some candy for yourself and get fatter since you got a 3-cent raise. They paid 44 cents last week. This week, 47. All right, now we're moving on to Robinhood. Again, you got to love some Robinhood. But let's Robinhood double leverage fund. Perfect. Perfect ticker right there. All right, so they had 2 big days. They went up 7. They went up 9. Oh, wow. That's big. What did we do? Up 1, up 2. All right. Well, again, we kind of know we are capped on the upside. Now we look here. They went up 0.26. Unfortunately, we went down 0.04. But then down 1.97. We only went down 0.18. And here's the interesting play from yesterday. Robin went down 9.34%. We only went down 2.52. Distribution wise, we got a 3-cent raise from last week. Last week paid 57 cents. This week, 60 cents. All right, down to the final 3. SMCX. Last Friday they went up 1. SMC or SMI went down 0.98. SMCX big Monday up 13. We only captured 2 of that, so that hurt. Up 3 here, up 0.73 here, up 1, up 0.73, down 8.7, only down 0.47. So again, the good with the bad. Distribution wise, I think we have our first cut. They paid 64 cents last week and then 61 cents for this week. And then we got the newest funds, BABX versus BBYY. Hey, baby. Hey, BBYY. All right, anyway, they went up, BABX went up 3, and then went up 5, and then we captured 0.49 and 1.14. And then they went down 3, up 3. So we went down 0.4, up 1.6. So again, we did kind of better during those 2 days. And then down 6.8, we only went down 1.6. So, I mean, if you think about it, BBYY whooped some ass this week. So good job, BBYY. Good job, Beba. All right, anyway, FBL versus FBYY. Oh, yeah, distribution. 46 cents to 47. So you got a penny raise there. All right, FBL, what are we doing? We got FBL went up 1 and then 3. We went up 1.5, then 1.74. Then they went up 0.1, 0.2. We went up 0.2 and then 0.3. So nice whooping ass here. Again, oh my God. Remember Meta had a rough day. Here we go. Down 22%. I mean, we went down. It was not painless, but we only went down about a third, being down 7.96%. All right. So that's the update on the daily compare. Again, it's for an entire week. So since we only make this video once per week, we got to go through each and every day. But again, as they get more funds, it's going to be a bit much. So I will probably stick to the largest of the funds, meaning, the ones of the largest assets under management. Okay, yield wise, here's the yield so far, at least as of the last week, because I'm trying to pull up all the yields cleanly and then average it out. You can see the averages down here, but I'm just showing you the latest stats, and here it is. For this week, COYY has the largest yield at 153%, HOYY 142, TSYY 137, SMYY same, XBIDI, look at you, 104, MTYY 104, and BABI 101. Again, the index is typically around the 50% range, even AZYY around the 50% range. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if this interest, assets on it, did I? So it's not, I'll have to, see, I did have here. I need to update how I pull it. But so we'll do that, and we'll again, like I said, when they start to add like 1 million funds, we're gonna have to slow our roll and not cover every single fund. All right, same thing with the holdings, because it does become a bit much. All right, coffee break. Any questions in the comments while I'm taking a coffee break? Why does that always happen? Where are we? Here we are. What's in the chat today? What is your favorite Granite shares fund and why? I'll pull up your comments so people can see it. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you. Why SPY is your favorite? I'm guessing because it's an index and it's just, less of a hit. But not a bad choice. We could do, a comparison at the end. I do have stock market analysis up. I think we did that last time. Good morning, DPC Dad. Yeah, you're late. You're sleeping too late. Same reason you like YieldMax. Okay. TSYY has paid more than it has lost in my account. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, better, right? Well, Sunita, it looks like you picked the best one. So congrats on that. NVYY is by far the best one. Let's see. All right. Doesn't look like we have anything else. Oh, wait. Wolf says he owns COYY, TSYY, SMYY, and XBIDI. Again, he owns XBIDI because he likes saying XBIDI. You lost sound. That's not good. Can anyone else hear me? Can you hear me now? 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 Nikki says AMYY is my favorite now. Can someone please confirm audio so I'm not talking to myself? Loud and clear still. Thank you, brother. All right. Let's go. Let's go, baby. So here's the holdings on NVYY. Again, it's really simple, easy to look at. You got cash money, baby. You got treasury bills. Then you got options, right? You got freaking options. All right. They're selling puts. They're buying puts. Selling puts, buying puts. Selling puts, buying puts. All right. So the puts that they're selling, what do they got for this week? Again, I'm ignoring 11.7s because that's for next week. They got a 97 and a 91. NVDL is at 108, well above both of these. So these are going to cost almost nothing to close. So yeah, you would consider that a successful, overall profitable trade. However, best case scenario is NVDL closes just above maybe one of these strike prices, because again, we're only going to capture so much premium on the upside. And then they have the protective puts, 82.87. Since NVDL did not go down that far, these are really not worth the damn. And like I said, I need to add the amount, how much it's worth per share. I think I even turned my hearing aids up. All right. Anyway, so that's NVYY. Again, I'm probably not going to go through the holdings on every single one. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. So COYY, again, cash treasuries. Why treasuries? Well, they want to get interest. But, we saw there was a cut, an interest rate, 0.25%. Maybe not in December. I don't know, whatever. But so we're going to get less interest, I assume, at some point. But it's still pretty high enough that it's worth it to hold the treasuries. But they're selling puts here, 33, 38, and 39. So if I look at the price of CONL, it's actually just at 33, which is pretty good. However, this 39, again, if you sell a put for $39 and your underlying is below that, you are going to get assigned. And since they don't take assignment, they have to cash settle the gap. What is the gap? The gap is about $6 plus, theta, as they say, or time value or whatever, whatever's left over, extrinsic income, extrinsic price wise, they'll have to pay that. But we'll see what CONL does today. The pre-market, actually pre-market CONL, it's quite up. I'll show you guys real quick. It is up 8% in the pre-market. Wow. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this 39, maybe not that bad. But again, yeah, we'll see. These 33s, they're only going to help you collect so much income, but because they're already worth almost nothing. But like I said, I want to get that price per share in there. All right, TSYY. Again, this is, I believe, one of their biggest funds. So we got to cover this one. What are they doing? Huh? What are they doing? Weird. I had to close out. Okay. So Cutterman is back. He has sound. That's good. And Nikki says, I wasn't sure about these yet. Now I see. Sure about what? These funds? Let me know if you have any questions, Nikki. We can cover it. Selling puts. All right. 21, 22, 22, 21, 19. All right. So now what's the price of TSLL? 20. All right. 20 is above the 19. It's not above these though. All right. So, but again, like I said, they still have today, pre-market, we're up 1.8 on TSLL. So these, may be all good, but we shall see. What is it? Is it that far? Let's see. Yeah. Always got to double check the freaking formula because you never know, man. But yeah, we'll see. Again, they got protective puts. None of these so far needed the protective put. For this week at least. XBIDI, again, just because we like to say XBIDI, we're going to cover it. They're selling a put at what, 50? One put. I love it. Simple. BitX is at 45. Okay, that sucks. Why does that suck? Well, again, you're committing to buying these shares at $50. The underlying's at 45. So since you're not getting a sign, you got to pay the gap, pay the gap, pay the gap, $5. BitX in the pre-market, we can check again to see like what are we doing? Are we good? Are we not? Are we paying the gap here? They are up to 48.67. They're up 6.4%. So obviously that's a lot closer to the 50. So the gap is now more, it's less of a gap. It's going to be cheaper. Again, I think people love the indexes. So I'm going to keep going. Let me just see if there's any questions or comments yet. NVYY is my favorite holding. It's almost from inception. It treated me very well. I feel like YSpy is my secret fund that few others are loving. Cutterman says, I see why they have protective puts. TSLL is in scary territory with the earnings coming up. And does anyone own now stocks? Does anyone own what? All right. Anyway, TQQY. Let's see. Selling puts 120 and 110. TQQQ is at 115, right in the middle. That's not bad, actually. And if I look at the pre-market, TQQQ is up 3.7%. So we'll keep an eye out for that. YSpy, how you doing? They're selling puts. Again, if it's highlighted in this bright turquoise, which always reminds me of the, back in the day, Charlotte Hornets, right? They changed their name 50 times, but they're selling puts at, 214 and 220. And they're sitting at 222, which is above both. So these are pretty much going to expire worthless. However, they do pay to close still because they do a rolling order. That way they'll collect premium through the weekend, right? They don't want to miss out on the juice over the weekend because there is risk trading over the weekend. I mean, that's 2 full days. Anything can happen. So, of course, yeah, you're going to be paid more premium trading over the weekend than versus just, within the week. So anyway, so let's keep going. Let's go to AZYY or AZY. What's up, AZ? All right, selling puts here, $30 for AZYY, AMZZ. Perfect, $30. Perfect. We'd like it maybe to close just a little higher, maybe like the 31 range. Do I have it on my screen? I could pull it up. AMZZ. I go here. Do that. What? They must have had earnings. Oh my goodness. Did you guys see this? AMZZ is up 25% in the freaking it was probably after hours, but now the pre-market. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Well, not worried about that put, but obviously we're worried about limited upside, of course. Amy, again, this is another fun whooping ass. They're selling puts 23, 23, 24. What are we at? 23. All right. Not bad. Perfect. And again, since today's looking like a green day, it's going to be, they're going to pay minimal to close it, and then they're going to open a new position, new strike for next week. Of course, they have strikes already for the following week because you see non-turquoise means, again, 11/7 for next week. So no more happy Halloween. Ha ha. All right. Should we cover all of them or what? Should we keep going? Give me some feedback, peeps. Good morning, ETF Inspector. He's awake. YieldBoost did okay yesterday. Yeah, they did. Some of them actually had upside. Crazy. Good earnings. Yeah, for sure. Man, damn. Good morning, Kieran. Welcome. People be sleeping late. All right. Let's see. Let's go. MTYY selling puts. What do we got here? We got two. Oh my gosh. See, I'm looking at I'm like, something's wrong. But no, nothing's wrong because they're trading MSTU. And I know on the comparison I had MSTX, but they have the ability per the prospectus to trade either MSTU or MSTX. All right. Doesn't matter. I mean, the movement's pretty much the same. I mean, I probably should update the daily compare, but yeah, we'll get there. All right. Sorry, I had to take a sip of coffee. Thank God it's Friday, right? Oh my goodness, what a week. What a freaking week. All right, so the selling put for today, 369, 355. Wow. Okay. Yep, that's a gap. But the good news for you guys, check this baby out. pre-market is going thug nasty, and they are up 12.5%. They are at 306, which is not, it's not caught up yet, but still better than what it was. So they're getting there. Might not be that bad. PLYY, how you doing? They're selling puts at 32, 34. Their underlying's at 35. They're doing all right. Perfect. Hoo-wee, hoo-wee. All right. How's the Robinhood peeps? Where are we at? Selling puts 91. Oof, man, they are what? Scattered-do. They got a 91, they got a 98, they got a 105, and they got a 107. Hooey is right. Although they're hooey, they're not hooey, they're hooey. Robin's at 95. I would imagine the pre-market is up. Let's see if I have it on my. They're up 4.6%. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. They have scattered. I think the scattered-do will actually help them out a lot. All right, SMYY, how you doing? Well, they're selling puts, a lot of them. Again, another scattered-do, 36, 41, 43, and they are at 39. All right, so they're doing I on the 36, I on the 36, but these are close. But again, if you look at SMCX on the pre-market, I'm cheating because I have another screen. They're up 1.59%, but so we'll see. We'll keep an eye out for that. All right, here's your boys, the newcomers. The new kids are here. BBYY. Hey, BB. They're selling puts at 52. BabX is at 50. Perfection. But BabX is probably up. I don't have it on the other screen because I don't track freaking BabX. Oh my goodness. Did they have earnings? They are down 3.3%. Oh my God. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. All right, Phoebe. Hi, Phoebe. Well, this one, we saw their pre-market. Good Lord. All right. Let's see what they're selling puts at. 43. They're on. Oh my God. Their underlying's at 34. Oh my gosh. But look, check this baby out. Their underlying's at 34. Yeah, when we sell a put and the underlying goes down, yeah, we got to cover that gap, which means we're going down with it. However, they bought a protective put, right? So what does that mean? Well, look at the gap. They covered the gap, forget it. But basically it's like $4, right? So after the $4 hit, they are protected at 39.10. And that protection is already happening because this is below 39.10. Now, to keep it going, let's look at the pre-market. They may have flipped. They're up 2%. All right. So they are up to 35. So let's go back here. 35 is still under 39. So again, the protective put is doing its thing, helping them out. All right. So that's the update, guys. What do you guys think of the Granite Shares YieldBoost funds? Are you impressed? Are you a fan? I like the main website because it's like this. You got the tickers moving, looking cool. But let's go to the comments. I'll throw some music on. We'll just chillax for another 5 minutes or so. Do some Q&A, and go from there. You guys want me to have Will on again? Will Rind? Should I have him come on bright and early in the morning? Maybe I'll have him come on like after I review his funds. See if he agrees with whatever I say. Let's see. Double D went to work. Have a great day, Double D. Always working, always hustling. Saturday 400 for brother AP. Yeah, for real. Thank God it's Friday. Roddy. Yeah, Roddy. People are liking Roddy. I'm impressed. I'm very happy about it, actually. It's good to see. Yeah, I think he's almost as old as me. We're all old in here, mostly. So a protective put, I'd a bit Is a bit like gap insurance. What is it? Gap insurance, isn't that when you don't pay your freaking car? No, it's when, all right, I know what you're talking about. When the damage is more than the car, something like that. But I guess in a way, it just called insurance, not necessarily gap insurance. ETF inspector. Oh, he likes YieldBoost. You hear that? You hear that, Granite shares? You got a big time YouTuber who likes YieldBoost. ETF inspectors now. He has to interview Will. I know he don't have time, but it's, we like the real people interviewing the fund managers, right? Yeah, it should. Special announcement, right? Just have them pop in. Yeah. All right. Let me see what I can find out. Not that I have a hookup, but it's worth asking. Sonita. It reminds me of Elf. Francisco. Sunita. Yeah, like Granite and YieldBoost. The distros were amazing. I think I like 8. Damn, 8 funds. Go big or go home. Big time. Gap insurance covers the delta, but yeah. Misty is down to 1088. It's rough. MSTR, man, they're freaking taking a beating. They're up to pre-market though. Keep an eye. Yeah, I'll keep an eye. Keep an eye on freaking work too, unfortunately. It is fun to say. Sunita. Francisco. Good morning, D. Castilli. Had to hop off Ambassador's space from yesterday to come here. I thought you were going to say he's doing his spaces now. I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, there's a lot of funds coming out today. It's Misty. Alt eye. Himmy is down. All right, now it's catching up on the content. D. Castilli, he's very active on X, and he's a good dude. Let's see how good he is. D. Castilli, can you repost the stream? Even though I'm pretty much done, but can you retweet it, as they say, as the young kids say, or maybe the old kids, because that's how we know it. Nvidia is selling lots of Blackwell to Korea. It's going to rip today. When does Nvidia not rip? All right. Already Ken. All right, guys. What time is it? Oh, we're 48 minutes in. Done, reposted. Look at that. See, I told you he's a good dude. Go give him a follow on X, guys. D. Castilli. Super active. He's trying to set up my interviews. But no, I appreciate you. I appreciate anyone who joins here from X, because a lot of people watch from X, but nobody says anything, which is weird. I wish they were more involved. And I know the YouTube people, like, you guys can't see what the X people are saying, but as long as I pull it up, it should be fine. So what's the difference between Granite shares and YieldMax? Well, a lot, actually. Well, when you say Granite shares, you got to be careful, because Granite shares, they got a big family here. They don't just have YieldBoost. They have a whole bunch of other, like, they have another income side. They have this HIPS fund, which a lot of people do like. They have a lot of leverage funds. Like, look at all these. Oh my God. Wow. Look at all the new funds. So, man, they're big time, man. They are growing and growing and growing. And then they got, where's the gold? I want to see what they got for gold. BAR. That's a cool ticker. BAR. So yeah, but when you say, you got to make sure you got to say YieldBoost. How does YieldBoost compare to YieldMax? But in short, one sells calls, one sells puts, right? That's the short answer. But obviously there's a lot underneath of it, which, I kind of, if you go back in the beginning of the video, I kind of covered how these funds work, if it helps. And yes, of course, they have downside protection. All right, guys, I think we're to the end of the video. I would appreciate it if you guys leave me some feedback. Is this the type of content when we talk about YieldBoost? Because again, this will be the Friday thing. When we talk about YieldBoost, is this the coverage you want to see? Is it the right order? Do you want me to cover all the funds, at least for now, since it's manageable as is? Or do you not give a crap? You're just here for the fun and entertainment. But either way, let me know. So as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, then guess what? Guess what? Oh well, right? Oh well. Boo-hoo for you. All right? Boo-hoo. Grumpy boy. Anyway, if you guys enjoy this content, you can always hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, you hit the thumb up. If you're on X, you hit the heart. And then better yet, you can repost it, this, that, and the other thing, and then other people can find the video and they say, "Oh, wee, I like this. I like this." But yeah, I should probably, I didn't even think about it in the thumbnail. Again, put 100% yielder. I'm noticing, again, people are more than likely to click thumbnails with a freaking picture of them, you know? Do I do that or do I not? I don't know. That's another question. Great video, Chew Dog says. Thank you. Thank you, Chew Dog. You the man. You the man. Chew Dog and I, we talk about our, our former puppies. And before each video, we miss them, right? Happy Halloween from DPC Dad, but happy Halloween to you. Check out his new series. I wonder, you got a new video coming out this weekend? Please continue the YieldBoost coverage, says Sunita. Halloween. All right, happy Halloween. Enjoy the candy. Ugh, I'm gonna get fatter, right? Is the market scary today? I don't know. No, it's actually very green. Happy Halloween. Thanks for the info. Yeah. All right, so since we got to get to the keyword. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. The keyword today, I mean, it is Halloween. So we got to go with something Halloweenish, right? Something Halloweenish. Uh-oh. Rachel should have some big news shortly. Breaking news. Uh-oh. Where's YG? Wake her up. I want to hear this news. Wake her up. But anyway, it's keyword time. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to tell everyone in the comments via typing the freaking keyword. So you can say happy Halloween. You could say pumpkin. You could say, I don't freaking know. How about this? I'm making it up myself. What is your favorite Halloween movie? That is the keyword. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to type in the comments on X or on YouTube your favorite Halloween movie. Happy Halloween. Anyway, so what is your favorite freaking Halloween movie? All right. Scary, not scary. Kid Halloween movie. Could be kid Halloween movie because a lot of us have kids and that's all we watch. We can't really watch, like, you ever see The Terrifier? Oh my God, that movie is brutal. I can't even handle those movies anymore, by the way. I don't even know if that's a Halloween movie, but that's just as scary. I don't even have a word for it. But yeah. So we got Jeepers Creepers, Charlie Brown. That's scary movie. Yeah, we just watched that yesterday, actually. That's a little more kind of reasonable. I don't know. Well, because my middle one is, not middle, my older one is Ghostface. And now my little one wants to be I might have two Ghostfaces running around today. A 3-year-old Ghostface. Actually, I should take a picture for you guys. But yeah, so if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it to all the suckers out there, then you got to type in your favorite freaking Halloween movie. All right, I'm out of here, guys. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow, more than likely. Either YieldMax or Roddy content. I don't know. I'll have to decide, but I'll let you guys decide too. But yeah, have a good day. Happy Halloween. Go eat some candy. Go do your trick or treating. Make sure to answer the door. Don't be a grouch. Turn the lights off. Just answer the damn door. Give the poor kids candy. All right. Don't be a freaking grouch. All right. I'm out of here, everyone. Later.